Yo, what's going on with y'all? It's your boy NeoXO bringing y'all a Black Clover episode 163 review. Before we get too deep into it, make sure you like and subscribe. Now, getting straight into it, this episode is entitled Dante versus the Captain of the Black Bulls. So we finally get to see the long-awaited fight between Dante and Yami. And this fight going crazy. Like, there's two powerhouses going at each other. Probably two of the most powerful characters we have ever seen in the series, just going head to head in a one-on-one and just going back and forth. Like, it's really cool to see that. But before we even get to that point in the episode, it starts off with Grey crying about Ghost being basically stabbed straight through his body, like his torso. He literally has a mortal wound. So Grey's definitely sad about that. And when we go into detail about her backstory, it makes even more sense why she's so sad about him being severely injured. Like, this is not a little injury. He could literally die from this injury right here that is happening. Luckily, she actually unlocked a new spell in this episode to be able to save his life. Now, in the beginning of the episode, we get the remnants of the fight from last episode, because you guys remember last episode it was Asta versus Dante, or basically the Black Bulls versus Dante, but Asta was doing the majority of the work. So Asta basically made Dante really mad, because if you guys remember in the end of the last episode, he basically got a little scratch on Dante, and Dante did not like that. So Dante was like, all right, I'm gonna have to get my hands dirty. So he basically put up his sets and he started punching Asta. And he, like, mind you, these are not regular punches. We know that Asta punches very hard. We've seen Fugelian punch very hard, but Dante punched even harder. And the reason for this is because Dante has gravity behind his punches. So these punches are amplified and Asta just getting hit. But the crazy thing is, Asta taking some of these hits. Like, he didn't just get one hit KO'd. So, I mean, if you guys want to give Asta that credit, he taking these hits, but you just know that these hits are hitting hard. And, like, he just straight up punching them. Like, you don't even see this in Black Clover that much, where people just are like, all right, let's put the magic aside and let's use hands. But Dante was like, all right, we could use straight hands. And it's funny because Asta's like that too. Sometimes Asta don't even have magic, so he just got to use straight hands. So it's just funny to see that. I mean, it sucks for Asta that he's just getting pounded like that, but it's crazy. Now, moving on, we see a little bit of Grey's backstory, or not even a little bit. We see the entirety of Grey's backstory, and this is triggered due to Ghost being mortally injured. So it connects all together. Basically, her backstory is really sad. I thought it was well adapted. It pretty much was adapted one for one from the manga, honestly. And this backstory took a whole chapter. I remember reading it in the manga. It was called like Cinderella Grey. So her backstory is based off of Cinderella, obviously, because that's the name of the chapter that it's adapted from. So, like, basically she has these sisters and a mother, and the sisters are considered, I guess, the beautiful ones in the family, and they basically bully Grey because they say Grey's super ugly, and they make Grey do all of the chores. It's basically just like Cinderella. So Tabata definitely took some inspiration from that. I like whenever he takes inspiration from other works of fiction and incorporates it into his own. He's taken inspiration from Berserk in the past, and this is just really cool to see how he's just incorporating it into his own story. So this is like an interpretation, especially considering, like, I know there's some people probably younger who haven't even heard of Cinderella, so this is probably the first time this storyline has been shown to them. But basically, her sisters are really just bullying her and treating her bad, like super badly. They don't even give her, like, put her on the same pedestal as them. And it's crazy because the mother is just allowing this to happen. So basically what happens is, you know how Grey has transformation magic, supposedly. It might be something different considering the spell she just unlocked, but we'll talk about that probably in the future. So basically she tries to transform into her sisters, and they were like, nah, we're not messing with that. And they were going to basically hurt her with their fire magic, and they were about to just hurt her really badly. So she ended up running away. She had basically no other choice, and as she was running away, she ran into some bandits who were going to do some very bad things to her. They tried to take her clothes and stuff like that, and then we see Ghost pull up and save Grey from the bandits. Now Grey's very thankful to Ghost, and I think this is the moment where Grey kind of caught feelings for Ghost. So that's why it really connects, the fact that Ghost saved her in the past, and now Ghost is mortally injured and needs help from Grey. So it's kind of like Grey's returning the favor to Ghost. even though back then we know that Ghost was really obsessed with Marie, and he still is really obsessed with Marie. So that's basically why he saved Ghost, is because Marie asked him to. But I do think that the chemistry between Ghost and Grey is definitely developing. We've seen in the anime that they are really close to each other. You know how some of the members of the Black Bulls are closer to certain members than other members. So after like Grey thinks about it for a second, she gets that flashback. She uses a new spell, and it basically fixes Ghost up, like honestly probably on like a molecular level. So Ghost is gonna be okay. In the manga, it was kind of harder to witness because I think that a lot of people when the manga came out, they thought that like Ghost was about to die. But in this episode, he got all healed up, so he's gonna be straight. And then that's when Dante is continuing to be a menace to society. That's exactly what Dante doing, being a menace, and he's basically bullying the Black Bulls. And that's why Captain Yami's so cool, because he's like, he come with his dark magic and just like, all right, Dante, back up. So he comes to the rescue of his squad, and that's when Captain Yami's like, all right, I'm gonna take over this. Like Captain Yami just takes over the fight, and he's going one-on-one with Dante, and they just going back and forth. Like basically Dante has met his match. Honestly, Dante has met a better match at least than fighting against Ghost or Vanessa or Grey or Asta, because this is Captain Yami. We know Captain Yami basically always wins because he just built like that. He just built different, straight like that. And it's cool we get to see a sword fight too. Like I like whenever they have sword fights. Dante basically uses his magic to create, I believe he called it like a gladiator type of effect, and he uses a sword. So we know Yami got the katana, so they're going back and forth with the swords, and they're going at hyper speed. They're basically, the only reason we can see it is because they're doing it in like slow motion, but like realistically speaking, they're going at hyper speed and they're just going back and forth. We even see like dialogue from Yami basically saying like, this guy is fast. So we know Yami's fast too, and that's the reason he uses his katana, because dark magic is not fast, so he has to use a katana to kind of like balance that out. So that's that on that. So we also get another plot line in this episode, which is crazy. We got 3 plot lines in one episode. That's like what, 3 chapters. So basically this last plot line switches over to the Heart Kingdom, and of course the Spirit Guardians got off screened. I don't even want to dwell on that too much, but like people were hoping that they didn't get off screen in the anime, and they definitely did not need to. They definitely could have shown us the fight, but it is what it is. They did a 1-to-1 adaptation to the manga, and nothing wrong with that. They just following the manga very strictly on this part right here. Now we see Luck fighting off against Finken, and this is because he had to do what he had to do, because the Spirit Guardians didn't do a good job. I'm not gonna say that they didn't do. Nah, they failed. They have definitely failed. If they lost, they failed, straight like that. So then we got Luck is stronger than a Spirit Guardian, straight like that. And I'm saying this because Laura Petrica, after her Spirit Guardians got defeated, she was basically like, okay, we need to go help Luck and the rest of them. But Noelle's like, nah, you don't even need to worry about them. So we got Luck going against Finken, and basically Finken magic, you know, like skin magic. So Luck trying to hit him, and he's going fast too. Luck been fast since the beginning of the series, but he's basically going very fast. And you know, speed is great to have, but you need to have some power behind that speed, and he's just not powerful enough to break through Finken's skin magic until we get a flashback of Luck training with Gaja. Luck wanted to learn how to use that lightning bolt from the atmosphere, like a true lightning bolt, and basically Gaja told him like that took him 2 years to learn, so try to come up with your own thing. And in this episode we see what Luck came up with. He was able to put arrays near his feet, and he was able to basically stacked arrays. Like we see him stack arrays and just use it to go at like a super insane speed, fast enough to basically go directly through Finken's body. And that was basically insane right there. So we got Finken down. That's 1 Dark Disciple down. We got a couple more Dark Disciples to take down, and that's just crazy right there. We got some good fights in this episode. This was a heavy action-packed episode. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. Be sure to let me know what you guys thought of this episode in the comment section. I mean, really not much to say. This was just a good episode. You know, whenever it's a good episode, everybody's in a good mood. Whenever it's a bad episode, everybody gets like angry. But like, since this is a good episode, it should be like nothing but everybody happy and just people rewatching the episode over and over again. I'm very happy with Black Clover for delivering this to us. But with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy NeoXO, and I'm out.